Hello and welcome to another weekly devotion, not weekly, daily devotion with Pastor Andrew, that's me. So here we are, we've entered into Tuesday in this first week of Advent. I won't be as long-winded, hopefully, as I was yesterday, explaining things, but it's this idea of God became human. What is that about? And what does that mean to us as we go through this season of Advent again? So today we somewhat continue, but we skip a verse, but I read it actually to you yesterday from Philippians 2. Today our verses are 9 and 10 in Philippians 2. Our focus, down and up. Philippians 2, 9 through 10, therefore God exalted him even more highly and gave him the name that is above every other name, so that at the name given to Jesus every knee should bend in heaven and on earth. And then our connection coming from C.S. Lewis in his book Miracles. He goes down to come up again and bring the whole ruined world up with him. One has the picture of a strong man stooping lower and lower to get himself underneath some great complicated burden. He must stoop in order to lift. He must almost disappear under the load before he incredibly straightens his back and marches off with the whole mass swaying on his shoulders. The idea that he's got the whole world in his hands comes to mind as I read that. It's been a while since I've read that, Miracles. So our devotion writer says this. Remember again, it seems, as we continue to go through these, the focus is those three words, right? Are those three words. God became human. What does that mean? God came down in the person of Jesus to bring the world up. Abraham was humbled when asked to sacrifice his son Isaac, and in the process, learned to trust God fully. Peter refused to have his feet washed by Jesus, but changed his mind when Jesus said, "Unless I wash you, you have no share with me." That comes from John's Gospel. Perhaps that's why Peter later wrote, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that he may exalt you in due time." That is in 1 Peter. Where did he get that idea? From Jesus, the one who humbled himself and was later exalted, but in his case without sin. Jesus told a dinner host, "For all who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." Luke 14. I believe that's when they were having dinner at the Pharisee's house. Yes. God the Son came down to live among us, and then he went up. He enjoyed the glory and majesty of heaven, but decided for our benefit to humble himself. In doing that, Jesus set a pattern that works for everyone. Lift yourself up, and you will be put down. Lower yourself, and you will be lifted up. Jesus didn't do this just to set an example for us to follow. He did it to save us. By coming down, he became a man born to die. By going up, he overcame everything he met when he went down, including whatever problems you face at this very moment. Hold on to his hand. In that going up, God has exalted him to the highest place and promises to bring you up in the same way. I think it's really interesting before we close in prayer today. I promised this one would be shorter, and so far it is. That idea, right? God became human. What does that look like as we continue to ponder that now that we're a few days into Advent? But it's not only that. Did you catch it today? Did you catch it? Because these last couple days, this is what Jesus did, and we get a taste of that today, or we get that today, but then we get this taste of us. We're in there, right? He There's that kind of in between the lines question of how are you hearing this? How this is also you. This is your call. What does that mean, right? Jesus didn't do this just to set an example for us to follow. He did it to save us. He came down. He became man who was born to die. By going up, he overcame everything he met when he went down, including whatever problems you face at this very moment. God is one of us. God experiences what we do. God knows us. It's more to say, and then it's more to, well, God knows us because he created us, or God created us. Well, God experiences it. That's key. God doesn't just know us. God knows it. God knows depression. God knows sorrow. God knows grief. God knows joy. God knows happiness. God knows love. God knows. God knows the struggles. God knows the joys. God knows the meh, the mediocre, the everyday. God knows. That means something. That means something. Hold on to his hand. Here I am, right? I'm here for you. Do we take it? When there's that hand extended, is it just from Jesus? Or is it from someone who maybe doesn't have Jesus' face, but has Jesus' face? Yeah. In that going up, God has exalted him to the highest place and promises to bring you up in the same way. You, us. The faced, the faces, and the faceless, right? This is for everyone. This is for everyone. How are we living that? See, that question comes in there. How are we living that? We hear it. How are we living it? In action. Yeah. So our prayer, Jesus, help me, help us down so that you can bring us, bring the world up to you. Amen. Till tomorrow.